Gaffer, we'll start with some sad news. Obviously, tributes have been pouring in after we found out that Gordon Sparks had passed on Sunday morning. I know you knew him quite a bit in and around the club with his duties here. Just really your memories of what he was like when you spoke to him.
Argyle mad, wasn't he? So I didn't get to meet him that many times, but when I did get to meet him, he was always interesting. As you say, I've read people say he always has a story to tell, which he did. And yeah, he'll be sorely missed. As I say, I know Nance holds him in real high regard. He knows him a lot better than us. Nance would always text him when we were on our way home on the coach from away games, and quite recently I got his phone number and kept in contact with him a little bit, and we were due to go and see him tomorrow in the hospital, but unfortunately he didn't make it. He didn't. You know, we got the sad news on Sunday morning. Also, though, I think it's quite fitting that the fans are singing his name in the stand. On Saturday, I heard it. I was meant to mention it in the press after the game about it, but I forgot. I'm gutted. But they were singing his name, and I heard that the nurses said that he knew we were winning. So he's gone out in peace when his team is top of the league. So bittersweet. Yeah,
and that's exactly it. I mean, he's so synonymous with Argyle. I think if you speak to any Argyle supporter, they'll know Gordon Sparks, and you know he's cross-generational. But as you say, it's slightly fitting, if you can use that phrase, that we did manage to win, and he managed to watch it or at least listen to it.
I think his last when he last got to Home Park as well as the Ipswich game, wasn't he? He summoned the strength for one more game at Home Park, and that was another memorable one for him. So yeah, he will definitely go down in Argyle folklore. He's an Argyle legend, and yet he'll be remembered and missed.
If we look ahead to the game, of course, that we've got coming up, we mentioned the MK Dons game and Gordon watching it or listening to it, and it was another great win, another kind of tick in the right direction, continuing momentum. And Tuesday, I'm guessing you'd want to see some of that bleed into the performance there as well.
Yeah, of course. I think momentum is a big thing in football, and we want to try and keep the positivity going for as long as possible. So Tuesday night gives us an opportunity to do that. I think again it's important that we get some experience in the team, and we also put around that some energy and some youthful excitement with the young lads who'll play, who'll be desperate to impress again. So looking forward to it. It won't be an easy game. I think Crystal Palace have been okay. When I've watched them, they played some good stuff. Won the first game against Swindon, got beaten the second game, so they'll need to come here and win. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and as you say, try and keep the positivity going. Yeah,
you mentioned the younger lads in our squad taking their opportunity really in the last couple of games. Obviously, a couple of them scored away at Swindon. That must be so great to be able to have games like this to put them in and them to perform as well. Yeah, it's a good stage for them to learn and get some more experience. So they're doing great for the under-18s. They had another brilliant result the weekend. They beat Exeter convincingly, the 18s. So that's good. But this step up in this competition is different for them. They're playing with the first team players, and the pressure's different. So let's see if they can handle it. It's good to know whether they can perform in that environment, because as we've seen on Saturday, you're going to need the under-18s every now and again. So Will Jenkins-Davis came on, Finlay Krask, who obviously come on as well late on in the game, and I know that, and Jack Endicott's played in the first team so far this season. I know that when they're called upon, they can be reliable. So these games are great for us to find out whether they're ready. We also have seen Conor Grant get more and more game time over the last couple of weeks, and this could be an opportunity to give him more minutes again. It's great to see him back, isn't it? Brilliant, and he's looking sharper every single training session that he does. He's looking, things are looking more natural to him. So when you've had a bit of a long time out, the first few weeks you're just trying to find your feet and get your touch going and trying to stay with runners, so that can be hard. But no, he looks as though he's back, and I was pleased for him getting on for 30 minutes on Saturday away at MK, and then tomorrow night he'll start, because that's the next hurdle for him now. He's got to play over an hour if he can, maybe 70 minutes if possible, and
and that ticks another box for him. And then when he's needed to play 90 minutes, then in the first team again, he's ready, and another good addition, make our squad stronger.
I know at the start of this competition, the voices coming out were to do really well in it, try and go as far as we can, and I think a point or a draw, regardless of whether we win the penalty shootout or not, will see us through, which is the first time that it's happened since the group stage has been introduced. That in itself is a positive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I just the way I see the competition, I think you've got to try and win every game that you play. That's kind of the attitude that I wanted to go with. I know sometimes you might need to rest players and whatever early on in the early rounds, but we just felt that it was important that we get the lads who need minutes, games, get the young players experience, and take the competition seriously. Now we've got an opportunity to go through, but as you say, we need a point, so we're going to have to play well to try and get that point. And yeah, if we get through the group stage, that'll be the first for the club, which is good, brings in some extra cash for us, which I'm sure Zach will appreciate. And yeah, and then it keeps, as you say, keeps the momentum building, and it's another game then, and whenever the next round is for people who might need minutes and whatever, another opportunity for young lads. So we're not in any other leagues for the young players, so it's good for it's good for everyone to try and go through.